And I tell you one thing's been on my mind. This world we live in, well, it's yours and mine. Let's make it brighter while we got time. We are people that make it happen. You and me, just reach out and grab it. And I don't know what you've been told, but it's our time, yeah, it's our world. We're all people that make it happen. I see a difference, the day will come when all our troubles we've overcome. We climb the mountain just to see the sun. Ooh, transformation has just begun. We're all people that make it happen. You and me, just reach out and grab it. I don't know what you've been told, but it's our time, yeah, it's our world. We're all people that make it happen. Out and grab it. And I don't know what you've been told, but it's our time, yeah, it's our world. We're all people that make it happen. We are people, we're making it happen. Yeah. Well, I don't know what you've been told, but it's our time, yeah, it's our world. Oh, let's make it happen.
everybody? How's everybody doing on this Tuesday? I'm still a little stuffy, but I am here. Not 100%, more like 85 to 90%, but I am good enough, I think, to do a show. Barring me muting for coughing every once in a while, but I don't feel like a train hit me anymore. That's an improvement. And we're already with the coughing. Yay! The stuff is finally coming. The gunk, my volume. Lovely. Okay. Let's see here. Oh, when you know the computer had turned my mic down. Yay! Okay, you should be able to hear me better. Shitty as always. The gunk is finally breaking up and, you know, getting out of my system, which is why I'm able to do a show for you guys tonight. I fucking wish a train... Well, I wish a train would hit you too, Jason. So let's see, I am saying good morning to Mezzo Dragon over in the Twitch chat this morning. I am saying a good morning to a Numbed Skull, a Magnus Deacon, a good morning to a Green Badger, and a Neilk, and a Traname. Good luck on your interview today, Traname. I hope you get the job, my dear. I am pulling for you and cheering for you. A good afternoon on from Jason to Jason Todd from across the pond. A good morning to a reality check, a Penina, and a Fenrir of the right. And, oh, good morning, MC. Glad you could make it. More zombies to join my legion that way. Not today, tomorrow. Oh, well, good luck on your interview tomorrow. I will be, you know, putting in good words, even though most of the time I send good words up into the ether. They get put on call waiting, but a word is a word. Positive energies to you, my dear. I hope you get the job. Yeah, Wednesday night started out with a sore throat and an inability to swallow without being in pain, and it turned into a major crud fest that lasted until, well, it's still going on, but it's mostly gone now. So, I hate being sick, because it means I can't do everything that I need to do, which means inevitably I am behind schedule on everything. A story that I am going to do for a blog post or a possible pre-recorded video is going to be the story on Lauren Southern and a couple of others who got kicked out and banned from the UK. I have been looking at Lauren Southern's Twitter, and the story that is unfolding is rather interesting and both, and also kind of a facepalm moment if you take a look at it. So I am sorting through all that to see if I can bring you the story in its entirety instead of bits and pieces. Merlin is not with us this morning, unfortunately, because he is in the middle of the nor'easter, and right before the show started, it knocked out a transformer in his neighborhood, so he has no power. So he is relying on his cell phone to communicate with everybody, to give people intermittent updates until his, electricity is restored. Hold on just a second. Alright. Neil, I like the part where the paperwork says one reason I had to do the right-wing organization rather than far-right. Yeah. And there's also that she said that she could identify as whatever she wanted, so she took full advantage of it, so she identified as a Pakistani. And, no, Mommy's not playing with you this morning. Mommy has to work, so quit barking. Quit arguing with me. I have work to do. Whether you believe it or not. Mommy does have work to do. The interrogation part of her story is crazy. Yeah, I've got a lot of stuff to sort through with that. Also, from Wednesday to today, Toon had his main channel terminated, so below is his backup channel that people can go to and subscribe to, share out on Twitter to see if he can get his usual fan base back. He was taken down, I think, for bullying and harassment, even though his stuff is satirical and comes from comedy. But we all know the regressive left does not have a funny bone in their body, and thus his main channel got terminated, which was his only source of income. So please take that secondary link for Toon's channel that's in the description and spread it out far and wide. Let's see if we can get him some help. Also down there are the backup channels for Suit and Sinatra's streaming channel as well. So keep an eye out for that and see if you can share those out too. We need to help each other. We know that YouTube is pretty much going to crap because these ambiguous terms of service and all this stuff, you never know when you're going to get demonetized. By the end of my show, I should probably be demonetized just by saying what I've already said. But, you know, stuff happens and things of that nature. So, let's get back to the format. Oh, the almighty format. Yay. Alright, the FBI. Michigan doctor eventually stripped of his medical license, received prison time for his role in an illegal drug distribution operation and multi-million-dollar health care fraud scheme. And yes, this comes with a reading, people. And I think I'm going to have to mute so I can blow my nose. Hang on just a sec. Yes, I'm ever so professional with this, aren't I? Sheesh. Alright, here we go. Alright, hang on just a sec. Okay, here we go. Crooked Michigan doctor sentenced. This is directly from the FBI site. Played key role in drug distribution and healthcare fraud conspiracies. From 2010 to 2015. Morning, J. Willie. Advanced Care Services, located in Southfield, Michigan, a suburb of Detroit, billed itself as a pain management clinic and HIV infusion center that primarily served Medicare patients. Neilk. Mentioned being sick, ads don't want to run on ill people's content. Demonetize! J. Willie, being funny is oppressive, you know. Regressive logic in a nutshell. Yeah, unfortunately. But as it turned out, ACS wasn't serving anyone but itself. It was nothing more than a pill mill involved in the illegal sale and distribution of dangerous prescription medications, including opioids, into nearby communities. And if that wasn't bad enough, ACS was also involved in a related multi-million-dollar healthcare fraud scheme. Let me see if I can get you guys, because I forgot to sort of... Oh, wow, really? Okay. I'm going to have to, tweet out those links later, because apparently that link is a little long. As it turned out, ACS wasn't serving anyone but itself. In the illegal sale and distribution of dangerous prescription medications, including opioids, into nearby communities. And if that wasn't bad enough, ACS was also involved in a related multi-million-dollar healthcare fraud scheme. The lone doctor employed at the facility, Rodney Moray, personally enabled both of these conspiracies through his actions at the clinic. Fortunately, law enforcement ultimately uncovered the actions of Moray and his 4 co-conspirators, and he was sentenced last month to a federal prison term on various drug and healthcare fraud charges after previously pleading guilty. Moray's associates have also pleaded guilty in connection with their roles in the criminal activity and have been sentenced. All 5 were ordered to pay more than $2.5 million in restitution. An ACS, a clinic that ostensibly offered medical care for a vulnerable population, but instead broke its promise to the communities it served, was put out of business. According to FBI case agent Larissa Kramer, the Bureau's Detroit field office opened an investigation into ACS in December 2011 after receiving a referral from the Department of Health and Human Services Office of Inspector General concerning suspicious billings from a Dr. Rodney Moray. Shortly after that, Kramer explained an ongoing Detroit investigation into a pill mill led directly to the doorstep of Advanced Care Services, Moray's employer, and our case, run jointly with HHS OIG investigators, took a new direction. Excuse me. Kramer said that a variety of investigative techniques... Yeah, I know, Mezzo Dragon. We get it, Zeus. You're loud. Kramer said that a variety of investigative techniques... Alright, hang on. Yeah, he's having fun, barking all over Mama. Major blooper this morning. Kramer said that a variety of investigative techniques, including confidential informants, consensual recordings, analysis of financial records, and interviews with ACS employees and patients, uncovered the breadth and depth of the fraudulent activity being perpetrated by Moray and the company. Generally, here's how the scheme worked. 2 individuals associated with ACS would go out and recruit patients, vulnerable Medicare recipients who were struggling on fixed incomes, to visit Moray at ACS and receive a cursory exam or sometimes no exam at all. Moray would then write them medically unnecessary prescriptions for controlled substances. He's just trying to provide the background music. Thanks, Fenrir. The patients would go out and fill those prescriptions and then turn the medications over to ACS recruiter in exchange for money. The recruiters, who often personally transported the patients to and from the clinic and their pharmacies, would then sell the drugs on the streets where they had a lot more value. More than $15 million in total, Kramer explained. She also said that Moray intentionally wrote thousands of illegal prescriptions for drugs like hydrocodone, alprazolam, and promethazine with codeine to patients he knew didn't need them, and that he knew the ultimate destination of those powerful drugs were the streets of southeast Michigan. What is that, boy? Is Timmy stuck down a well? Cute green badger. What made this even worse, Kramer added, was that before working at ACS, Moray worked at an addiction treatment clinic where he saw the consequences of illegal drugs on a daily basis. In the meantime, the ACS office manager, with the total knowledge of the clinic's owner, who had hired Moray in the first place, fraudulently billed $6 million to Medicare for examinations or tests that were not done properly or not done at all, in the names of the patients who had received the illegal prescriptions. Neil, that illegal drug clinic is probably where he got the idea. Yeah, probably. During the course of the federal investigation, Moray was accused of sexual assault by some of his female patients who would put up with his inappropriate behavior so they could obtain the controlled substance prescriptions. He was ultimately charged by the state and pleaded guilty to criminal sexual conduct charges. Before the federal case was even concluded, the state of Michigan had already stripped Moray of his medical license. After Moray's sentencing, in the drug case, Timothy Waters, then acting head of the Detroit FBI office, said that Moray had intentionally fueled the local opioid epidemic by overprescribing addictive medications to patients for his own personal gain. Waters also warned that any physician or healthcare professional who prioritizes profit or does harm to their patients under the guise of providing health care will be subject to the full investigative resources of the FBI and our law enforcement partners. And Kramer attributed the success of this particular investigation to the working relationship that the Bureau already had in place with the HHS-OIG. The investigation would not have happened without our healthcare fraud partners at HHS, she said. So that is from the FBI tweet. This is the Inherent Resolve operation. Department of State and Theresa May condemn Russia use of nerve agent on UK soil. Meanwhile, in the region, Russia bombs civilians, encourages mercenaries, and allows ISIS to stroll through cleared areas in Syria. Legitimately continued to defeat Daesh. So that is still going on, and yes, we're going to go more into that nerve agent story in the next segment of the show. So hang in there and bear with me. And the DoD, today is National Canine Veterans Day. We'd like to take a moment to thank the loyal and hardworking retired canines who stayed close and kept the service members safe on countless missions. So today is National Canine Veterans Day, because even a canine can be a veteran. So those are the tweets for the day. Let's get on with the news, shall we? Alrighty then, and I have the wrong window up. Here we go. Yep, that's probably why he's excited. It is National Canine Veteran Day. Okay, now for the weather. This is not the weather that anybody wants, but apparently this is the weather we got. March 13th, 2018, a nor'easter is expected to bring blizzard conditions across southeastern New England on Tuesday, which has knocked out a transformer in Merlin's neighborhood. A powerful nor'easter is expected to hammer New England on Tuesday with heavy snow and blizzard conditions near the coast. As the storm center passes to the southeast of New England on Tuesday, the potential exists for mesoscale heavy snow bands to form near the coast, leading to bursts of heavy snow along with very gusty winds. Neil, holy heck. Glad I got out of NJ. Yep. Let me see. A storm center passes to the southeast of New England on Tuesday. The potential exists leading to bursts of heavy snow along with gusty winds. Coastal flooding is also likely around times of high tide. A renewed surge of cold air will then become entrenched over the eastern U.S. behind the storm, leading to unseasonably cold weather temperatures for March to continue through the middle of the week, with Florida also feeling the effects of the colder weather, with a blocking pattern remaining in place across the high latitudes. The nor'easter is expected to directly affect Nova Scotia on Wednesday and then weaken. This will keep the snow and snow showers in place over much of New England on Wednesday, near a trough of low pressure. The central U.S. should be relatively mild and mostly sunny through the midweek under a large surface high-pressure ridge. The west will be increasingly wet, snowy, and unsettled as a front approaches and moves... Oh. Welcome, Pure Madness, to the Twitch channel. Oh, let me see here. The west will be increasingly wet and snowy and unsettled as a front approaches and moves inland. The greatest rainfall should be focused over the favored terrain of northern and central California, with some locations receiving 2 to 4 inches of rain through Wednesday morning. Heavy snow is expected across the higher mountainous terrain, with the greatest amounts likely for the Sierra Nevada mountains. We'll take the snow over heat. I would be comfortable with just 70 to 75 degrees. Whoa, gotta open a window, so warm here. Yeah, I have a jelly train to make, since that's one of the reasons I got a cold, because of the adverse changes in weather. Somebody needs to quit messing with a thermostat and stick it somewhere between 70 and 75 degrees Fahrenheit in Georgia, and I'll be happy. So this is the map. That is the snow. This is the mixed stuff. This is me not getting any rain. This is rain and thunderstorms over here. This is just rain over here. This is snow. These are your pressure fronts. And this is high pressure all the way in the Midwest, going from the south Midwest up to the northwest. So that is what your map looks like. And these are what your temperatures look like. Going from it's kind of chilly but comfortable. Well, going from it's nice and comfortable, I'm going to wear shorts, to holy hell, it's cold and I'm not leaving my house today. Yeah. They're expecting it to rain. Well, what always gets me is in between January and April, it rains enough for most people to make jokes about boats and arcs. And then by August, September, most of the people in the southeast and southwest are talking about drought conditions. Something isn't right, but that's just me. See that part without the snow? That's Vaname. Ha ha ha. Morning, Futter. Alright, let's get on with the news. Alright, that's one. And that is the wrong story. Here we go. Ex-Russian spy in UK dead, Russia suspected. The British are demanding an explanation after a military-grade nerve agent was used in the city of Salisbury on Tuesday. The attack, which happened last Tuesday, was linked to a nerve agent that was produced in Russia and violates the Chemical Weapons Convention. Russia has stated it will only work with Britain and Sergei Lavrov. Russia's foreign minister says Russia is not to blame for the death of the Russian ex-spy and his daughter. He went on to say Moscow will work with the probe, but put forth that London would be better off if it heeded its international obligations before putting forth ultimatums. This response came on the heels of Theresa May giving the Russian government a Tuesday deadline to comply. On an analysis from both law enforcement and intelligence services, May has stated that this is leading to a confrontation between Britain and Russia, who has taken steps to be more aggressive toward Europe in the recent years. Morning, G. Bronert. How you doing? Skripal, the ex-spy... the ex-soy. Lovely. Here we go. The ex-spy, who was convicted and then released on a spy swap, has been residing in Salisbury for 8 years without causing problems or drawing attention to himself. Casual Callie is over in my Twitch chat. I was looking all over YouTube for you. All you gotta do is go in the Shilling channel in the Discord, sweetie. You'll find me every time. Fenrir, bullshit, they didn't. That is what the 5th or more person they have killed in the UK now. Yeah, demanding an explanation, exactly, G. Bronert. She demands a lot. She demands an explanation as to what happened. Breaking, still needs to make her bed. Yeah, I knew you were going to do that. The bed was made. I actually made it while everybody was coming in the waiting room, but, you weren't here to see that, so... Alright, here we go.
Secretary of State Rex Tillerson said Monday a poison used against a former Russian spy in England clearly came from Russia. He said the nerve agent couldn't have come from any other country, but that he's not sure if Russian President Vladimir Putin knew about the attack. Reports out last week said the nerve agent left both former double agent Sergei Skripal and his daughter in critical condition. UK Prime Minister Theresa May said Monday it was highly likely Russia was behind the attack. Russia has denied any role in the poisonings.
Yep, there I go. That's silence, I know. Seamus, am I crazy to think the UK itself might be behind this nerve gas attack? I mean, all this blame. Yeah, everybody seems to be Russia crazy. But I'm still going to keep an eye on this story as it develops to see what's going on, Seamus, to see if there are anything else comes of it. Because if they're accusing Russia and Russia didn't do it, then there has to be diplomatically some sort of retraction or some sort of apology, which is going to be interesting to see if that comes about. If they did do it, then they're going to... There's plenty of sound. I see myself moving. No, the others were killed other ways. Well, okay. Russia's responsible for everything wrong in the world. Yeah, they seem to be blamed for collusions and involvement in certain elections and all this other stuff. It's becoming interesting how the bear is becoming like, I don't know, the Dennis the Menace, always being blamed for everything that's going on. I would like to look a little deeper into it and follow this story to see if, where it leads, what path down the rabbit hole this particularly leads to. So there is that. Alright, so now we have this story. The U.S. House... Yeah, didn't do it. I'm Russian crazy. Oh, wait, you weren't asking about my internet viewing habits. Russia done did it. The National Resources Committee issued a letter on Monday looking for answers at PREPA, Puerto Rico Electric Power Authority, after allegations of corruption. Among the allegations are some official... Oh, Jesus Christ. See, this is what happens when I don't have an editor. Are that some officials at the utility received bribes to restore power at places such as exotic dance clubs before other locations. The accusations say PREPA officials were given $5,000 and given free tickets worth $1,000 for each person to restore power to dance clubs ahead of schedule. Need those strip joints. The utility has not fully restored power to the Commonwealth's 3.4 million residents since Maria blew through in late September, which caused a collapse of the grid as a whole. As of March, only 12.5% of PREPA's customers are without electricity. The committee's letter stated that it was reviewing multiple allegations of corruption and mismanagement in regards to the restoration effort. Other allegations say PREPA mismanaged a warehouse that should have been made available to aid in bringing back power to the island. The poor management of the warehouse led to delays, equipment shortage, and idled work crews. The warehouse being looked at was not put on computerized inventory lists, and PREPA was not able to answer questions from the U.S. Army Corps of Engineers. The letter asserted PREPA's explanations for Warehouse 5 and its inventory have been contradictory and frankly inadequate. This was in reference to PREPA's original claim the materials were from past projects and included recycled parts and updated supplies. Magnus, yes, we need those strip joints to support single moms. My son keeps sitting across the table moving his lips but no sound every time my phone buffers. Your phone is buffering. That's not good. Imagine my shock. I know, G. Bronner. Oh. Let me see. Casual Callie. Do I have my own private chat down here or what? I see only me here. Is it because I'm on my phone? I don't know. Mezzo Dragon could just be listening down there in the Twitch chat. Some people just turn me on and listen to me. Yeah, because we need them strip joints, yo. Let me see here. Alright, and the final story of the evening. We've all heard the arguments. We've all seen the back and forth. Yep, I just listened. That's what I figured, Mezzo. Between Tillerson and Trump, after Trump took office and Tillerson became the Secretary of State. Now it looks like, in another changing of the guard, Rex Tillerson has been replaced after 14 months of service and relieved of his Secretary of State title. He will be replaced with Mike Pompeo, who is director of the CIA. Gina Haspel will take the lead seat in the CIA, and Trump is boasting that this is the first woman in the director of the CIA position. I will be double checking on that to see if she actually is. He tends to boast. We need to check when he boasts. The decision for the change is due to the upcoming meeting with North Korean leader Kim Jong-un and trade negotiations that are still going on around the world. Tillerson was caught by surprise during his travels in Africa when Trump accepted an invitation to meet with Un. I'm back. Rumors of Tillerson's ousting started in November with a leak to the New York Times about a plan to force out the Secretary of State and nominate Tom Cotton to replace Pompeo, who is a Republican senator, not Gina Haspel. The leak was after Tillerson called Trump a moron, and the relationship between the president and the Secretary of State has been strained ever since, because they keep butting heads. There's another changing of the guard, one of many in the President Trump administration. He seems to be switching staff like most people, change out light bulbs and things. Let me see. Secretary of State is an outdated position and should be reduced. To me, it is a needed position only if the president and the vice president aren't the ones taking the trips, doing the negotiations, and setting up the meetings. When everybody's doing it, then the position becomes redundant, as it has here, because you've got Tillerson doing it. It's a whole cabinet. It's not only just one person that's the Secretary of State. He's got staff, too, that, is on the phone talking to different countries, setting meetings up. You've got Mattis doing the same thing, going around the world doing the same thing. You've got Pence doing, Vice President Pence doing the same thing. You've got all these people in the administration taking all these trips to talk to all these foreign dignitaries. And I understand that we need diplomacy. Okay? It is a thing. We do need diplomatic ties to different countries. We do need to keep these diplomatic ties civil. We do need to keep in touch with our allies and not piss them off. And we also need to talk to people that are not our allies to see if we can come up with some sort of negotiations. But when everybody is doing the same job in different countries and nobody is reporting back to who is doing what when, it's a case of the right hand not knowing what the left hand is doing. G. Bronner, the problem is that obviously oversight for the Secretary of State is quite lax. Yeah. Jason, so there is a secretary to the secretary? Yes. There's an assistant secretary of state. There are a lot of redundant positions in the government. I'm sure MC will probably agree with me on that. There are a lot of redundant positions. A lot of them. Let's see here. And that is the news for the day. So we all know what's next, right? Yep, and we're starting out with the shout outs with Fenn has decided to start a new channel, and his baby channel is called Beginner's Burrow. What does Beginner's Burrow do? It shows him raising, feeding, caring for, and making terrariums for tarantulas. It is a nice break from all the political stuff that most people cover, me included. He decided that he was going to take a break from doing political stuff, and take a break he did. This is a really good channel to go and watch if you want a break from all the rat race and what's going on and all the political debates. He does have some good information on the channel, and this video is pretty cool to watch because he does go through transferring a little baby, I guess he calls them slings, from this 32-ounce cup to this small little terrarium. I haven't seen the whole thing yet, and by the time he said, "Oh God," so apparently something happened during the transfer. Mezzo Dragon. Taking care of spiders, that's kind of cool. That and other exotic pets, just got a ball python, Halloween crab, and beetles. Oh, cool, Fenrir. That is really cool. So, check out Beginner's Burrow. He's only got 212 subscribers on the channel, so please give him a little bit of support. I am putting the link now in the Twitch chat. Let me see. We plan on getting our kid a tarantula this summer. Well, there you go. Take a look at Beginner's Burrow. He also links to other channels that, a little bit more than him. So it is a really cool little thing to keep up with. So Beginner's Burrow, check that out. Claudia Brown. Most people know her on Twitter by Ranting Feminist. I'm going to get groans for this one. But I did watch this 10-minute video, and she does make a lot of points about hurdles that women have in the workplace in regards to child care expenses, and paying for someone to take care of your children while you're at work, because that can be expensive. That can often lead to, especially people making a little bit above minimum wage, working to pay child care and not much else. So she does raise a lot of good talking points, and she does start a really good conversation with this video. So please have an open mind when you watch this video. It's not a bad video to watch. Next one, Midnight's Edge, Deadpool 2 in trouble, extensive reshoots in progress. They talk about the creative differences that are going on. Hold on. They talk about the creative differences that are going on in the set, the reshoots that are going on, some leaks that have happened. I like watching Midnight's Edge because they go in depth in movies that are coming out and stuff. Jay Willie, but it's going to be difficult for me too when I becomes a single dad. Yeah, I mean, it's a really good, that's the one thing that people don't, bro, I found you. Should search for this on YouTube because I didn't. If you have Discord, Callie, it's in the Shilling session in Discord. So yeah, because, childcare expenses can be really, really out there. Mezzo Dragon, if Deadpool doesn't make a good joke about cable being an old way to watch television, I'll be surprised. Me too. I think one of the things that they discuss is, no problem, Fenrir, anytime, dude. No problem, Fen. One of the problems that they discuss is that, he is such a fanboy in the role, okay? And I don't understand why I keep forgetting his name, but Ryan Reynolds is such a fanboy for Deadpool that possibly one of the creative issues is the fact that he wants to put jokes in for jokes' sake. Not situational jokes that, Chaos Eve. Claudia is one of the few feminists that will actually engage in dialogue and have conversations. I actually respect her for that. Yeah, I mean, there are a few that do that. I don't know, dear. I don't know why I'm not showing up under your subs. So, yeah. I mean, I like a good joke, and Deadpool is really good with the fourth wall breaks and the jokes and stuff. But jokes for jokes' sake, when they're not situational to the scene that he's in, does kind of take away from the movie. It's kind of like having an action scene when you don't have anything else to put. So, and the last one is Terence Popp. I found him quite by accident during my sick days. You've gone hashtag me too far, redunculus.com. He does talk about how the hashtag Me Too movement is wholly backfiring on the feminists as a whole, in the fact that men don't want to approach women anymore for fear that they are going to be vilified and brought up on charges of sexual harassment. So this is a really good video to watch. He is he is ex-military. So before you click on the video, he does not have a filter. I will tell you that, but he is really entertaining to listen to, and he does bring up some really good points. So, Jason Todd, Ryan gets carried away. I love the guy, but I hope he doesn't go too far. That makes two of us. That makes two of us. All right, so, all right, and now for...
I'm not gonna stand here and listen to this baloney.
He won't, you know. He doesn't stand for baloney.
Yeah, you're reading it right. Oh, are you reading it right? Oh my god. This is the cancer of the day. And no, it didn't come from Callie. It came from the Associated Press. Get ready to moan, get ready to groan, and get ready to argue in the chat. National Geographic acknowledges past racist coverage. Yep. Washington, National Geographic acknowledged on Monday that it covered the world through a racist lens for generations, with its magazine portrayals of bare-breasted women and naive brown-skinned tribesmen as savage, unsophisticated, and unintelligent. We've had to own our story to move beyond it, Editor-in-Chief Susan Goldberg told the Associated Press in an interview about Yellow Bordered magazine's April issue, which is devoted to race. National Geographic first published this magazine in 1888. An investigation conducted last fall by University of Virginia photography historian John Edwin Mason showed that until the 1970s, it virtually ignored people of color in the United States who were not domestics or laborers. And it reinforced the repeatedly idea that people of color from foreign lands were exotics, famously and frequently unclothed, happy hunters, noble savages, every type of cliché. For example, in 1916 article about Australia, the caption on a photo of two Aboriginal people read, "South Australian backfellows, these savages rank lowest in intelligence of all human beings." Chaos Eve, well, I need chemotherapy now. I warned you, there's always a cancer article. Magnus Deacon, Nat Geo finally jumped a shark. Yes, it has. Mezzo Dragon says of Deadpool. Okay, yeah, okay, here we go. Let me see here. In addition, National Geographic perpetuated the cliche of native people fascinated by technology and overloaded the magazine with pictures of beautiful Pacific Island women. This examination comes as other media organizations are also casting a critical eye on their past. The New York Times recently admitted that most of its obituaries chronicled the lives of white men and began publishing obituaries of famous women in its overlooked section. In National Geographic's April issue, Goldberg, who identified herself as National Geographic first woman and first Jewish editor, wrote a letter titled, "For decades our coverage was racist. To rise above our past, we must acknowledge it. I knew when we looked back there would be some storytelling that we would never do today. That we won't do, that we don't do and we're not proud of," she told the AP. "But it seemed to me as if we want to incredibly talk about race, we better look and see how we talked about race." Mason said he found an intentional pattern in his review, G. Bronner. So National Geographic took pics of other lands and their people. Whoa. Miss T, blacks killed Native Americans and Native Americans had slaves. Yep. Reality check. Yeah, it's a pointless thing. We have an inane amount of wildlife in California from bobcats. Oh, talking about wild. Leave it to the SJWs to ruin old and respectable publications. Yes, Magnus Deacon? I agree. Miss T, if we're going to take responsibility for what people have done in the past, I guess I have to beat myself up. I'm half black and half Native American. Well, I mean, it's National Geographic. Morning Shy Wolf. National Geographic used to be a magazine that people looked forward to reading. The colorful pictures and well-taken pictures only added to the story of the history of the people they were highlighting in that issue. Morning Optimus, how are you doing? And see, that's the problem that we have today. Everything is being infiltrated by this backwards regressive way of thinking. Because National Geographic has never had a slant to it. That's okay. Let me see. And it doesn't need to. It needs to go back. It needs to go back. If you want to hop in and comment on this article, you can, Optimus. National Geographic used to be the kind of magazine where it was educational. It taught you about indigenous people around the world, the problems that they were having, when modern society was encroaching in, deforestation and things of that nature. Now it's become like every other slanted magazine in that I don't think it's worth subscribing to read. When I think, growing up, when I thought National Geographic, I thought educational. I was going to learn something when I opened up the magazine. I was going to be transported to a new place and learned about taught about a new people. Not, be fed the propaganda that now apparently they are going to begin to push. National Geographic apologizing for being racist in the past. It's the cancer article. You popped in right during the cancer article. Yeah. Let me see here. It says, white teenage boys could count on every issue or two of National Geographic having some brown skin, bare breasts for them to look at and think editors at National Geographic knew that it was one of the appeals of the magazine because women, especially Asian women, from the Pacific Island were photographed in ways that were almost glamour shots. National Geographic, which now reaches 30 million people around the world, was the way that many Americans first learned about the rest of the world, said Professor Samir Husni, who heads the magazine Innovation Center at the University of Mississippi Journalism School. Yeah, making sure that kind of coverage never happens again should be paramount, Husni said. Trying to integrate the magazine media with more hiring of diverse writers and minorities in the magazine field is how we apologize for the past. Because they said, in the past, they depicted as Aboriginal people as being stupid and savage. You gotta love how they twist their own lens. Goldberg said she is doing just that, adding that in the past the magazine had done a better job at gender diversity than racial and ethnic diversity. The coverage wasn't right before because it wasn't told from an elite white American point of view. And I think it speaks to exactly why we need a diversity of storytellers, Goldberg said. So we need photographers who are African American and Native American because they are going to capture a different truth and maybe a more accurate story. Yeah. So I should be able to hear you. Oh, hang on, wait a minute. And there we go. Go ahead and start from the beginning.
Oh, right. By the way, got a new mic set up, so
sounding
have
good.
won't have to hear those keyboard clicks and mouse clicks and stuff.
Cool.
Okay, so one of the things that I've noticed on a lot of articles and magazines and stuff like that. Wow, they really can't hear me.
No, they can now. I turned you up. It just takes a couple of seconds. Yeah, there's a delay.
So, yeah, I'm reading the chat too. So, the difference between unbiased and biased words need to have an understanding of the English language in order to be properly unbiased in their story. What they think is unbiased words is actually biased driven. And so it doesn't even matter if you're unbiased or not. That's the message you want to convey.
Yeah. I mean, it's like I said before you popped in. National Geographic used to mean to me that I was going to learn about native people in a way that it hasn't been, shown before. And maybe it's because I was young, but I mean, it was more informative to me than slanted in any way.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, National Geographic was the magazine you turned to learn about the lesser known people of the world or third world countries and stuff like that in a way that the press could not convey it. And now it seems like it's turning into the same thing that the rest of mainstream media is. Diversity for diversity's sake and not diversity of thought. And now we're going to start probably getting a magazine that is tainted through a lens of social justice. So we're not going to be getting or learning about people that we don't know about anymore.
Yeah.
They seem to be taking over just about every aspect of the media.
Well, that's why I've always said, and I still continue to say, let's just blow up humanity. I'll survive, it's cool.
I won't. Holy shit. Let's see what we've got here. Oh, yeah. The Humble Bundles. Yay. Because I always do this at the end.
I got like 2 of those packages.
Mm-hmm.
Like the Game Creator one, that's good for beginners, and then the, oh, look. Pops are running around outside.
Oh,
so exciting.
Chaos Eve, I tend to agree. Nuke them all. In the Humble Bundles, 13 days left for AI. The Books Bundle. And the Books Bundle includes practical... Let me see here. Practical game AI programming, stats for machine learning for developers, machine learning with C++, implementing AI to play games. That's why I do this every morning. This is how I wrap up the show before I do the live stream announcements. 3 months of MapT Pro for $30. That's a coupon, so that's part of this AI bundle. Let me see here. Next one is the Brawler Pack, which only has 2 hours and 41 minutes left, and the Brawler Pack includes the Guilty Gear game, the Blaze Blue, Skullgirls, and the like that we have covered in past things. Magic Sounds of Music bundle.
Now that's the one I got, and then I also got the Code Your Own Games one.
Okay. Yeah, this one's got 7 days left, and it's got MP3 Deluxe 19 Music Maker EDM Edition, Sound Pool Deeper Shades of House, and so forth for creating your own music for your videos and stuff. Don't forget, the March bundle is already out and will be out until probably the first couple of days of April. That's the way they seem to be doing it. Mad Scientist bundle. Let me see here. We've got 8 days on this, and it includes tinkering, forest MIMS science experiments, environmental monitoring, atmospheric monitoring, a book titled Don't Try This at Home, biohacking.
Hold on. Let me just pay for the machine learning and the AI thing real quick.
Okay. Yeah, it says it's volume 56 biohacking. It doesn't take a fully stacked laboratory to perform biological scientific experiments. Make Volume 56 shows you how to make electricity using everyday mud, extract DNA with a 3D printed centrifuge, and isolate fruit DNA in your cocktails. Plus, learn about one group hacking medical devices for real-time diabetes data and others that's trying to open a source life-saving insulin. More than 18 projects, including make a teeny tiny FM transmitter spy bug, build a retro-style cell phone with cutting-edge add a fruit feather fauna, and learn to make your own fasteners by tapping and threading. So yeah, this is the Mad Scientist Pack for those of you that are totally into science and are science geeks. You've got
what they don't tell you is on page 93 it teaches you how to make an atomic bomb.
You still have the Heroes of Indie Comics bundle, Warhammer Vermintide, 66% off Sniper Elite 4, and the digital deluxe edition of that game, Final Fantasy 15 for $49.99, Kingdom Come Deliverance for $59.99. These are the games. You got Rust for $35. Yes, I rounded that up.
How about Kingdom Came? Okay, so
Sniper Elite 3 is 70% off. I'm trying to find Northgard is 25% off. Stellaris Apocalypse, $19.99. And we have Deep Rock Galactic for $24.99, among other things that they are releasing, like Zombie Army Trilogy at 70% off for $13.49. So those are some of the games in the Humble Bundle and some of the sales and some of the bundles available on that site. The link is below. And now for the live stream announcements. Let me see here.
Oh shit! I'm going through my old purchases, and there's stuff that I haven't activated yet, and I don't think I want to. I might just like do a key toss or something.
Ooh, you heard it here, folks. You heard it here. 11 o'clock is when Tonka Saw started showing cartoons. He may actually have started his Kumite by now on his channel. At 2 p.m., you have a choice. You can either go to Reading Wren's channel for Wrenilations and Chill, or Numbed Skull for the Great Debate, all times Eastern Standard Time. Hellcats at 8 p.m. with Jason Brazeal, or Penina at 8, because Penina Plays, because she usually does her live streams on Tuesdays, but she's trying to stream Monday through Thursday, so please check her out and give her some support. At 9...
Hey, I have another copy of Sanctum too.
Oh, cool. Scribe Light's hosting Lords of the Night at 9 o'clock, and when that's over, Minions of the Zoo take over with their night stream. And when I'm feeling completely 100%, I am going to go to the Freedom site, and I'm going to get me that key, and I'm going to do a game review and key drop for the steampunk game platformer that they have, because I have been looking at it and kind of drooling, no lie. Admission here, because I like steampunk. It has a special place in my heart. And I will be trying out that game, and I will be giving away keys. So keep an eye out on those announcements. And those are the live stream announcements. If you have any scheduled live streams that you want me to announce on this channel during the last portion of the show, please DM me either on Twitter or through Discord with the channel, day, and time that this scheduled stream shows. Go ahead. Also, to go to the website forum to let me know what kind of news matters to you by posting links to news articles you want us to check out and fact check and report on the show. We will give you credit for your news submissions if we happen to use the news and report it on the show. We want to be interactive with you. We, as in Merlin and me. And I hope his, power comes up by the end of the day, because he is over there in the Northeast getting hit by that nor'easter. Is this something you want?
And here in a few, I'm actually going to start up Shadowrun and stream it.
For those of you that are active in my server, you will notice that the Shill channel shows up every now and again, because I have learned how to use the Live Now bot. And I have also, Thank you for pimping. Always, Chaos Eve. Always. And because I have set up the live bot. So as long as I tell